when we're talking about vegetables or fruits, plant-based foods, what does organic mean?
So the USDA certifies it, and they define it as foods that are grown and processed according to specific guidelines. Okay, so there's soil quality, animal raising practices, pest and weed control, which is obviously what we're going to hit on.
Yep.
Also, use of additives. Okay.
Okay.
So produce can be called organic if it's
Produce. That's the word we can use.
There you go.
We'll call it produce for the rest of the show.
Produce.
I'll remember.
So it's certified to have grown on soil that has no prohibited substances applied for 3 years prior to harvest. So you can't just overnight decide you're going to be an organic farmer.
Okay, so you can't just go organic overnight.
Correct. Yes, 3 years minimum time there. So as science is developing, there are constantly new fertilizers, new pesticides that are coming out. So in those cases, it must first be approved according to more broad criteria. I don't really see the use of going into it gets pretty detailed, but
Sure.
Again, this is occurring all the time. There's companies that make a lot of money. Synthetic and natural pesticides, are their business. So it must be approved first if you want to maintain that organic seal and certification.
Okay, so we're talking about pesticides. Just start there for just a second. Mm-hmm. We use pesticides because we're growing a thing and we don't want the bugs or the animals or whatever eating the crop.
Yes.
And we don't want disease getting into it and all that. We need it to grow so that we can sell it.
Yes, and efficiently.
Right.
A lot of these things, we're still talking about business here. So we want them to grow efficiently and safely. By definition, they are used to prevent crops against insects, weeds, fungi, other pests.
Okay, so pest in the broad definition makes sense. And you're saying that there are some pesticides that are acceptable and some that are not?
Correct.
Okay.
According to organic standards.
Okay.
That's kind of what we'll touch on. There are certainly levels and things like that that are more broadly have been banned, et cetera, over time. But I'm kind of sticking to what's the difference. If you're making the decision between what's quote unquote legal and conventional produce, what's that next step? And in the pesticide case, they must be natural and they must be approved if new inventions, new products come on the market.
Sure.